I'd like to call this city council meeting to order on June 11th at 6 o'clock. I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, but before that, have a moment of silence for Rain Ware, the 5-year-old girl that lost her life in Chicago, and Joe Shaler. Is there any public participation? Seeing none, we'll move down to item number 4, a request to permit for AFSCME Local 2073, Thursday, June 13th, from 4:30 to 5, a road closure walk from Lincoln Junior High down Broadway, Kickapoo, and Ottawa Street.
Consent agenda.
Consent agenda? Yes.
Are they closing off the whole road that way or just around the courthouse?
Effectively to Iowa.
Just, the permit just says a rally at the courthouse to march to Lincoln Junior High. Yes, Joe?
Yeah, our intentions are to do some traffic control at Logan Street because that's going to be the most problematic intersection, and we have a plan to take care of that. Other than that, I think it's just a permit to have their march from the courthouse to the junior high so that nobody would be responsible for like impeding traffic or anything like that.
Any other questions?
Do we have to vote on this since it's already gonna happen?
Well, there's 2 of them that's going to be. Oh, it is, isn't it? Okay, so just this one be an after-the-fact vote. All right, put that on the consent agenda. Second is a request to permit for the 13th annual Up in Smoke Balloons Over 66 event. Road closures would be starting on August 23rd and go through the 25th. Our plan is to have all roads open by 1 o'clock on the 25th. There is a map that was provided. It's the same as we've used the last couple years, where we close off Kickapoo Street and part of Pulaski at 5 a.m. to allow some larger equipment to be set up, and then the rest of the streets would close around noon because Dock Dogs starts at noon on Friday. Yes. Yes, Mr. Downs.
Was there a map in the packet? I didn't see it. Okay.
So far, we haven't had enough stuff added to add additional road closures. We think we've left enough leeway with closing them at the alleys that we should be able to get all the activities in there. And we try to work with the businesses downtown. I work closely with Ethan at Guest House. I know it says we close Kickapoo Street. That's mainly to keep traffic from parking there, but we work with him for people coming in and out to pick up their goods in the morning and stuff, to try to get them in and out. And he's real good about having people walk it down the street. Again, the reason we do that is Friday morning early, we got a large stage coming in that's got to be set up, a large tent that's got to be set up. The food trucks will start showing up earlier. We got some generators to set up. And then on Pulaski Street, we try to limit the amount of traffic that drives on Pulaski Street in the morning, but we close completely Pulaski Street and part of McLean at noon, because the Dock Dog competition starts at noon, and usually we get a large crowd start showing up just before that, so. Obviously, I'll abstain from this vote, so if I have any other updates, I'll bring them forward, but right now, we look like we got enough area to keep it contained in that area.
I agree. Since he's going to abstain from this, then he can vote on the other ones. If we put them all on the consent, then he's waiving it for all of it. Yeah, okay.
Regular agenda? Yes, Mr. Downs?
Why is it going on the regular agenda? Why not the consent agenda?
Because Kevin's going to abstain. So if it's on the consent agenda, he's abstaining from payment of bills, all the other stuff that's on the consent agenda.
Okay.
Out of
Okay.
curiosity, do you get some sort of financial benefit or something from this respective event?
Financial, no. Yes, I do. My wallet gets a lot lighter for the money I spend on doing this. No, I know you've advised me in the past, John, and I appreciate that. I just feel that I should abstain since I am the president of this non-for-profit that runs this event, so I'd like to stay neutral there. I will say that I do work with the sheriff. The parking spots where the sheriff vehicles usually park on the courthouse square on McLean, we will block them off on Thursday because the Dock Dog pool comes in and it takes most of a day to set that up. But that's just the parking spots for there. Any other questions? Or if you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to see the event, feel free, and that goes for the public also. We're really wanting to try to get this back to where it was pre-COVID. I think we're doing a pretty good job. We got half the staff that we have, so it's working out pretty good. I appreciate the council's support. So moving on down to number 6. This is a request to permit for the Hunt Foundation for the Juneteenth celebration. Road closure would be June 19th from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., closing off Pekin Street in front of the library and Kickapoo to McLean Street and McLean to Latham Place. Yeah, just 1 second, Sam. She did contact Mrs. Bateman today to add something.
The actual request is correct in your packet. Of course, I couldn't change the agenda, but they called and wanted to close Kickapoo Street next to Latham Park, that block. Reached out to the department heads since they originally signed off on this, and they didn't feel that was very good idea. It's a work day. It's big trucks go through there and everything. So suggestion was that they can use the parking spots. So she decided that would work, but safety comes first. I told her, just gotta watch what you're putting. At the time I don't know what she's putting on Kickapoo. So they're going to take the parking spots there on Kickapoo. There runs across next to the park. They tell me they did. They've checked with everything around of that. And I just cautioned her, not knowing, it's during the day, if the Christian church is right there, if something would happen, they had to have a funeral or something. And she was aware that, that would be an issue if that came up.
Yes, Steve.
Can we check with the library to are they open? I mean, they said they checked, but can we just double check? Do we know? Sam, do you know? Are you on any of that? No. If they're open or not? I mean, I guess people could still access the parking lot coming off around here. So I guess they could still, okay.
I need to go back one. I'm glad someone said something about the library. Our request is also Pekin Street from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that's because the kids' portion of that event is in Latham Park, and it was suggested we close that one block of street there between the library parking lot and Latham Park for kids to travel back and forth across that street. But that would be just from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and I think early Saturday to like mid-morning, late morning.
You should have
Yes.
finished one.
I'm sorry. Well, I said I needed to go back to one. I'm sorry. We'll get that corrected for next week. I did the old whiteout and added the street when the barbecue committee suggested we close that, or the tourism bureau also suggested we close that, just because there'd be a lot of children traffic running back and forth. I'll try to find out by next week. I know it's like bouncy houses and face painting and that kind of stuff. Open Arms does the kids portion of that in Latham Park in conjunction with the DARE. Did you have another question, Sam?
I was just gonna say I looked and the library is closed on June 19th, so it won't be impacted.
So that one's going on the consent agenda. So that brings us down to number 7, Lincoln Police Department and the Lincoln Community High School Resource Officer Contractual Agreement from August 1, 2024 to July 31st to 2025. Mr. Meister.
It's just the annual renewal of the SRO contract for Lincoln Community High School. Very few changes have been made except for to adjust for contractual raises with the officers who are working out there.
It looked pretty thorough. I kinda went through it.
Regular agenda? All right. That brings us down to number 8, the arc flash study. This would be Mr. Downs. Or Mr. Bounds.
With a B, we're all good. So this is an OSHA regulation that we have to come into compliance with. It is not something that the sewer plant has done before. It goes towards NFPA 70E. They're going to take a look at our electrical systems. Anything that's 480 volt and up is going to have thermography performed on it. So basically looking at if we have any hot spots and buckets. They're also going to be taking a look at all of our one-line drawings, and this is going to provide a safety factor, stickering, painting around all of these devices, pieces of equipment that we've got to come into compliance with per OSHA. So
Yes, Mr. Parrott.
Is there a cost for this study?
there absolutely is. So the cost for this study is estimated at $34,375. The quote is in the packet. This will have to be updated annually moving forward. The update will not be as expensive as the initial study. The only thing that has to be updated is if we change a piece of equipment or the way it's being fed. Is it being fed from a different transformer? Now, I don't foresee a lot of that happening, but an annual update will have to happen going forward. So none of our lift stations are 480 volt three-phase. The highest we have there is 230 volt three-phase, and my understanding is it's not going to fall under this rule for this study. It's basically going to be entirely at the plant, both the traditional plant and the CSO that was just upgraded 2 years ago.
So in the fiscal impact, you have the 34,000, but the council recommendation is to approve 37,000.
That is a 10% increase due to it being an estimate.
The 37 is an estimate, not,
No, the 34 is the estimate. The 37 that I am requesting approval for is a 10% increase over the 34.
okay.
I got a question, only because it's a hot topic nowadays. The solar farm out there, has it made a significant impact on the power bill out at the sewer plant?
So we are seeing savings from that. Unfortunately, the electrical event that we recently experienced in Lincoln, solar has been down since then. They have had some issues with that. But yes, we are seeing savings from the solar field.
But they're getting that repaired and back up to?
Yes, we had lots of Ameren visitors yesterday and lots of private electricians from Keystone Power Holdings out there investigating what was going on.
What kind of savings had we seen up to that point?
I would say you were seeing roughly a 15% savings month over month.
All right, any other questions? Put this on the regular agenda? All right, sticking with Andrew, number 9 is a lawnmower purchase for the wastewater treatment plant.
So this is a quote for the same mower that you guys just approved for Mr. Lander's department. It's also being sourced through the Sourcewell program at roughly a 30% discount off list price. We need a new mower. That's where we're at.
And you mow all the grass out there with the one mower, or do you have a larger one?
So no, we do not actually mow the grass at the plant. The mowing service that the city utilizes is the same thing that we utilize to mow the plant. I can't pay someone to mow it that cheap. We do mow all the lift stations because we've got those throughout the town. We've got 10 right now.
Okay.
And some of those, they range anywhere from no mowing at the Burwell's lift station to Union Street or Palmer are probably the biggest ones, which little over an acre, couple acres.
Okay. Any questions there? Regular agenda? All right. Moves us down to number 10, body camera and personal tracking devices. I believe this is Fire Chief Johnson.
Yeah, this is the same thing that was presented to you a few weeks ago. The company that we're working with had a change in software. It benefited us greatly. It doubled the equipment we're going to get at a cheaper cost. So therefore, we're requesting $10,000 for the 4 units.
Regular agenda? All right. Anything else before we move to announcements? Has anybody got any announcements they'd like to make? Oh, Mrs. Bateman has an announcement or a statement.
Todd Henry, which is the work camp for Lincoln gentleman that came in to the council. Okay, he was supposed to be here tonight, but he couldn't get away, so he sent me a text message of what he wanted to say. So this is, and he says he is going to be the head dishwasher. He says they're almost here, over 200 students and youth workers from 8 states coming from as far as South Carolina. Work Camp for Lincoln 2024 starts this Sunday, June 16th through Saturday, June 22nd. 30 to 40 residents of Logan County will be receiving free home repairs, materials, and labor, including 7 new wheelchair ramp builds, porch and roof fixes, lots of painting, and many more projects. All over town, be looking for the Work Camp for Lincoln logo and signage, and be sure to give a honk, wave, or even a few words of gratitude for those young workers who are coming to change our community for the better. So, you have to give them a shout out.
I believe this is their
Second time they've
second
done
time they've
this.
came to town, so
And I'm 2 years. Yeah. And I'm thinking when he was here, he said they were staying at the high school. Is that what he
Yeah.
said? That they were going to be, huh? Oh, they are staying at Oak Barns. For some reason, I thought he said the high school. So,
2 years ago was the high school.
2 years ago they stayed at the high school? And this,
so they're going to
this-
stay in the dorm, the big dorm? So do you guys have to feed them, or? Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. That's great. It's a lot of kids, though. Probably hungry.
It's a good cause, and anytime we can have something like that come to town, that's a good thing. Any other announcements? You want to talk about this last weekend?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. We had a Pride Fest on Saturday. I want to thank everyone who turned out. It was a great event. I don't really have an estimate on how many people turned out, but there was a lot. There was a whole lot of people, and it was a very smooth, fun, entertaining event. So thank everyone who showed up.
The weather was perfect.
It was
wasn't hot,
perfect.
just a nice breeze.
Yes, yeah, a
So-
little windy towards the end, but it was a really fun day.
All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to approve, or move to adjourn. I approve your statement. To adjourn.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:20 PM.